Welcome back to another episode of Thanks for Your Consent.
Welcome
You're
back.
here with Ella.
And Berenice. Welcome back, everybody. Ella, how are you? How you been?
I'm thriving, friends. I'm doing so good. Little life update. So we had the My Straight Friends show that my friend Richie Armani puts on every month, and I was on the show, and I have to recommend this show so much. It was so much fun, so I had to give a little shout out, but it was a really nice, fun, uplifting time. I'm not gonna lie, I feel like I've been really, really fucking busy crazy. I came from a family meeting that had to happen, and I got up at God knows when to get on the bus. But I have to tell you guys the craziest story really quick. So have I told you I've been feeding the crows outside my house?
No, you're now crow woman.
No, I just I read that they like dog food, and I have a plethora of dog food. So sometimes I'm training Cardi. I'm also training the crows by just throwing them little dog treats. They have gifted me with fentanyl foil. They've been bringing me.
Oh.
I know this is going to sound cuckoo bananas crazy, but I was trying to figure out this whole fentanyl foil situation because I keep on finding it on my porch, and I thought someone was doing drugs on my porch. But one day, I've process of elimination, have figured out it's not someone doing it. I kind of caught crow mid-act bringing me the foil, and I realized these are gifts from the crows. So all is good. I've been waiting for this.
They're trying to drug you. They're trying to take you down.
No, they're just trying to give me... they're shiny. They like shiny things. They can't tell the difference between shiny... They could think they're bringing me some type of currency that I could be using. They just don't know that I can't use that.
Is fentanyl not bad for the birds, though?
They're fine. It's the foil that people are burning it on that I'm getting.
Okay, so no remainders. No.
They seem okay.
Okay, well, at least then that's good. That's still concerning, but I'm glad that
it is concerning. But
birds...
I mean, it's less concerning to think that then people were doing drugs on my porch. I prefer that it's the crows.
That is true.
I mean, I feed all the wild animals. I feed the hummingbirds, the squirrels. I'm full old lady bird watcher. On my weekends, I go and look at the birds at the parks. I have binoculars. It brings me so much joy. So
the new hobby is bird watching.
Literally,
I love it.
Well, honestly,
I love it.
The connection to nature is real. Because sometimes you gotta, when you're in the hustle and bustle and you're in downtown Seattle all day, you have to take the weekends to look at birds just to fucking reset.
You're right. To the birds. To the crows.
To the birds. Okay, babes, what's up with you? You're still in Mexico.
I'm still in Mexico. I told you this podcast has to be a quick one because it is almost 12 a.m. over here, okay? And the thing about it is Mexico has a water crisis, okay? As much like other countries do. And the place that I'm staying, they shut off the water at midnight and it comes back at 4 a.m. Now, this isn't an issue for a lot of people who have healthy sleeping schedules. However, me, 12 a.m. to 4 a.m. are the times I am the most active. So when you don't have running water during that time, it becomes an issue. So I was a little late to the podcast because I was running around filling up buckets of water to have at my disposal. So anyways, I
what
love
are you
Mexico.
Gonna get into that you need these buckets from 12 to 4? That's crazy. I understand being active, but what do you need buckets of water for?
To flush the bathroom.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Okay. And my sister's about to get here. She just came back from the beach and she asked me to gather some materials. All right. So life is different over here. Please, get educated. And if you are a tourist in Mexico, please, if it's yellow, keep it mellow. If it's brown, flush it down. You know what I mean? There's a crisis. Just keep that in mind. Yeah, but things are going good. I decided to stay an extra week in Mexico City because EDC is at the end of the week, and honestly, I don't know why my brain works the way it does, but I don't have any outfits for Mexico like EDC Mexico. Yeah, today I acquired all the materials I needed. I've been running around. I've been making fits. Also saw lots of first. Saw my mom I haven't seen in like five ever for the first time in years, and met my younger siblings. So that was really a real treat. What was probably the most curious thing about that experience is like I didn't grow up with her, but and I don't know her as an adult. So it's like seeing her mannerisms and things about her that I do without necessarily growing up with somebody. You know what I mean? So
That's
that was really
trippy.
interesting. That it was really interesting to be like, oh my god, I sound just like her. Like laugh wise, I am my mother. I am my mother. My bluntness, I thought that was, out of being a Scorpio. Turns out I am my mother's daughter. She says things like they are. So yeah, it's been a good experience.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I was talking about the podcast at the comedy show, and someone was like, "What's your favorite part about the podcast?" I was like, "I don't know. Sometimes things get like just a little kooky, a little crazy, and I feel like this is a good example. Craziness. I come in talking about crows. You talk about hanging out with your mother, who I haven't seen in five ever. It just gets crazy.
It just gets crazy. But we do have a fun episode, so we should get
Woo! We
into
gotta get into it."
it. Okay, let's get it.
Well, thanks for your concern.
Okay, so this episode is called Sketched Out. Things people do that sketch us out. I will start off. So, okay, so like sometimes when someone asks you like where you live, I'll give you like a general area. But if you ask me like where in that neighborhood I live, what are you doing? Trying to stalk me? Why do you need to know? You want to know my cross streets? Are you crazy?
Yeah. I'm with you on this one, sister, because my dad, it's not that I'm an anxious human being. I think my father has made me extra like hyper vigilant. He's like always assume people have bad intentions. He grew up here. So now I see that, and I agree with you. Why do you need to know what street I live in? Like when people ask me, "Oh, like what stop of the train you live in?" Why do you need to know that? Don't worry.
Yeah, that's
Deep
weird.
into this neighborhood. Don't worry. Don't worry about my whereabouts, my what I do's when I just met you. Stop being so noisy. For what? What do you need to know?
Exactly.
I get sketched out. Along those lines, if I meet you and I'm like, oh, you can put your Instagram on my phone, and you take too long with my phone to find your Instagram, what you doing? What you doing in there, sir?
Yeah. You're thinking someone's trying to scam you or something. It's like, why is that taking so long?
Yeah.
Okay,
There's apps
talking
in
about
there.
yeah, and there's private information. That's why this wasn't sketched out, but like I was showing my dad pictures of Thailand, and when they start swiping, I'm like, no, let me swipe.
Not those.
Not those. You're gonna swipe on some nude. Oh, and this actually happened the other day too. And somebody asked me for a picture of Cardi, and I was like, oh yeah, let me pull one up. And they like looked over my shoulder while I'm looking for one, and I was like, no, look away. I was like, I'm gonna have to go through some stuff in here, okay? We don't need to look while I look through my photos. Come on.
I think you sketched them out with that one. I think people that really sketch me out are people that are like too okay with everything.
Okay, with everything. No, I get what you mean. But what do you mean? Go and dip.
Like to go with the flow. Like you're like, oh, you want to do this? And they're like, yeah, whatever. If you ask, any basic question, and they're just like always down, always okay, never have like an opposing view, never really engage in conflict. Those people are most certainly talking shit behind your back.
I actually have a funny story about this. So basically me and my friend were gonna go to Los Angeles, and we jokingly called this house a trap house. It's literally in Beverly Hills, right? Like it's literally like that's like
Not a
was
trap
kind of
house.
the joke was that it's in
Yeah.
Beverly Hills and we call it a trap house. It literally wasn't that at all. I come to find out she thought I was being fucking serious about it, and I was like, oh my god, girl, why would I bring you to a trap house? And then first of all, why would I be joking ha-haing about it? Like, that's serious. And she was like, I don't know. And I was like, why would you agree to it if you thought I was being serious? And she was like, well, I didn't want to be difficult. And I was like, what, you were just gonna go to a trap house because you didn't want to be difficult?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I was like,
Exactly.
dude, no, don't just glow with the flow. Ask clarifying questions, baby.
Please communicate a little bit, because I've had experiences with people where at first they're like, yeah, super down, whatever. And then later, I'm like, where did all these issues arise? And it's because they started resenting you from not communicating. Now, is that my fault? No. Okay? I can't read your mind. So when people are just a little too down for whatevs, I'm just like, and then you hear about their interactions with others, and I'm like, I wonder if they told them how that made them feel. Probably not.
Probably not.
So, just watch out for those people. Probably not.
Okay, so that's like something to watch out for in like friends or whatever. Something I look out for in new people that always like sketches me out is when I ask someone like a basic question about their lives or interests, and they start struggling and like can't answer questions about themselves. I get so confused with people. Like when you so, and I'm like, you must be lying about yourself, because why are you struggling to ask questions? You know what I'm saying? Like they'll be like, I mean, this happened a lot. Like when you're talking to someone and you're like, "Oh, what are your interests?" And then you're like, "Oh, cool. Like, oh, you like EDM? Dope. Like, what genre do you like?" And they can't answer questions about it. Or like, "Oh, you love to go kayaking? Where do you like to go kayaking?" Can't answer it about it. Or when'd you get out of your last relationship? Doesn't know. I'm like, what is going on here? Why can't you answer questions?
Yeah, it does get a little sketchy. I do be getting a little sketched out by that. I'm just like, you should know these. These should be right on the top of your head, actually.
That's what I mean.
Sometimes people be getting nervous, but I'm like, this isn't a job interview. Like, this is just general interest,
And I'm not asking deep questions. Like, I'm not trying to pry into your life, but if I ask something like, oh, you say something, if you bring something up, I assume I could ask you more questions about it. I'm not prying. You brought it up.
Yeah, it's weird. I also get this with other people's significant others. I'm always sketched out. I'm team sketched out with other people's significant others, mainly because sometimes when people are dating other people and they got feelings for them, they're in la la land. Okay, right? You don't see things as they are, but I'm not in love, so I do like right away.
Yeah.
Which I think it's always interesting when you see somebody in a relationship where you're just like, honestly, long run, these people are so different, but you just gotta let them write that one out.
I feel like that happened a lot, like right post college, where it's like people are meeting new people in new cities, and you're like, I don't know if this makes sense. Honestly, that would happen. Like, what sketches me out is when I meet somebody's friends or their group of friends, and they're somehow way different than their friends. Because I'm like, wait, either you're act different around me, or you don't fit in with your friends. Like, something's not making sense here,
Yeah,
That's
I agree. It sketches me out when people don't introduce their friends to each other. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because technically, you should have a pretty congruent vibe, right?
Yeah.
And if you don't think your friends are gonna get along, I understand having different sides of yourself that different people fulfill. But if it's really different, then like, how do we relate when you relate to somebody that when I met them, they're kind of a cut?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like, there's a Venn diagram. Like, if you and I share things alike, then I should also share things alike with your other friend. Like, we shouldn't be so incompatible that, like, you can't bring us all around together.
Exactly. Okay. And
Yeah.
this is a good compliment I've gotten from people because my birthday comes around. I just tell everybody to come and everybody vibes. Like I would say all of my friends, are they vibe with each other. They have relationships outside of my friendship with each other. I'm cool with that. I don't really give a fuck. They should because I vibe with them. They should all vibe. They should all be the same energy. So yeah, this is a little sketchy. It's a little sketchy.
Okay, on like a different topic, something that sketches me out, or not to sketch me out, but like I feel like with like the rise of like sprinkle and stuff, people are like really trying to like get their Uber rides, and I get that, but like I'm not giving a strange man I met on the internet my home address. Like I'll probably pay for my own Uber just for like super safety reasons, but if I were to ever give someone my address, it's like 3 blocks down at a 24/7 fucking Starbucks, some safe institution that is not my place of residence.
I agree with this. I think that you can always alter the address to be close by, but not your own. I think for first days specifically, I'm just looking for genuine concern of how I will get there. Like, I don't necessarily, I want you to want to pay for my Uber, but I also just want you to ask, like, what area do you live in so I know, like, how something near you, and I think in
Yeah,
most cases, when the person is normal, they will and they're interested, they will ask like, hey, do you mind if I ask, like, where do you live? Like that, people have asked me that. And
I
that's the
agree.
right approach. And that's how you know, like, I'll if I feel like you're trustworthy, I'll let you know the area. But if I don't know anything about you, I'll be like, I'll just meet you there, like, don't worry,
I'm big on meat
this
there.
area, we can just meet there. So, stranger danger. I'm not a big fan of a lot of people having access to my space. If I don't know you, you're not coming over. If I don't trust you, I don't want you in my house. And I have things there. Okay, I have my cat there.
It's like one of those things where it's like, I know I'm not gonna rob you, but I don't know that you're not gonna rob me. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I have trust issues and I'm not afraid to admit that. I'm like, I catch a vibe so quick. I'll be sketched out and hop on the peace out train real quick. I don't care. And in relationships, I'm even worse. All right. It's come to my attention that I have a little bit of trust issues. Now, do I feel like it's all that bad? No, no.
No.
But no, no. But one thing that really sketches me out, like when I'm getting to know somebody nowadays, is their social media. Okay?
Hmm.
Now, any which way is too much. If your significant other is like all you post on your social media and they're all over there, I'm like, what are you overcompensating for? Because I'm because
So jaded.
honestly, so cheated. There's
Like,
there's
what is
too many
Pookie's
extremes.
boyfriend's? What's the Pookie's husband's agenda?
No, I'm talking about the people. You have to know these type of
I
people.
know.
They have like a little ring and like their girlfriends tagged on their like underneath their username, and all of their pictures are of their girlfriend, and then like this is when you find their social media, but in real life, they're flirting with you like left and right. You know what I mean? So for me,
I would hit
sometimes
that
like
girl
that's
up, dude.
that's a red flag, bro. I don't I keep that he's doing that to keep you trusting him, but I don't know if that's congruent in real life. Other things about social media that sketch me out is people's following. I didn't used to do this until the age of TikTok, where they're like, you should just go check out their following. And it's gonna maybe give you the ick. And they were right. Like, if you go to someone's following and they're following every bitch they've ever met, I saw on TikTok that like that's down to cheat energy. Okay, and maybe it's not down to cheat, but it's just a little sus for me to be like, why do you need to have all these women's contact information? You know what I mean?
Okay, so I had a friend who was like seeing this guy, and like the typical, like, oh, let me get his handle, let me stalk him a little bit. And I don't know why, but I just saw that he had like a really high like following count, right? And so I was like, I wonder who he's following. I click in. It's like all legitimately like, I don't even know if they're real accounts, but it was all like butts, like big ass Latinas, like all of it. And I literally was like, yo, first of all, you don't look like a single girl he follows, so that's gonna be a problem. And thing number two, well, his feeds just gotta be all butts. And then this was like before. Do you remember when you could go see people's likes and comments?
Yeah, I
And
miss that
we
era.
went to his comments, and I was like, "Girl, like, run!" And she like sent a screenshot to him. Was like, "Bro, what is this about?" And he literally was like, "Oh my god! Like, what is this technology? Like, I had no idea you could do that." What is like this fun?
Yeah. People's Explore page will tell you a lot about them. You can
Yeah.
also people post like their reels, and if you go see the name of the account, you can also get a look of what's in their algorithm.
Yeah.
I've learned that one. If they are reposting fuckboy problems, you got yourself a fuckboy.
Oh my god.
Okay, it is very easy to tell what they got going on in there. Mainly
so
because
funny.
for the most part, men don't think that much about social media the way women think about social media. So
Mhm.
like I can tell you what's going on before like you have thought about what's going on. They're like, well, I just think it's that big of a deal. And I'm like, but it is, because you don't see social media the way I see social media. You are intaking information that is building your character, sir. And you
Yeah.
don't get how that's happening?
Like,
Another
yeah, I was just gonna say, have you seen that thing on TikTok? Like, I've there's been like a few TikToks where I've really laughed and thought about it for a really long time. It was the one that says like a man who doesn't like who says he doesn't get pronouns tells a story and everyone's non-binary because he avoids using she and uses they instead. Like in the story, it's like his mind quickly replaces all the she's with they, and you're like, oh man, my ex used to do this all the time where I just was like, they. You mean she, bitch. Sketchy. Actually, honestly,
sketchy.
how people tell stories, like, I can get sketched out. The type of storyteller you
Oh,
are.
100%. If you're telling a story and suddenly the vibe in the story changes, like all of a sudden details are left out when you were being super detailed, or they're
Yeah.
about to tell you who they're with and they're like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That is with a girl.
Literally, it's like, bro, you didn't think about before telling me this story that this story happened before you cheated on me. Like, why would you tell me this story? And usually the reason they're telling you it is because the girl they were with thought they were funny, so they need to tell you about how someone else found them funny, but they forget that the person that they found them funny they were supposed to be with.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter who.
Doesn't
Ignore
matter.
that.
My last combination of social media sketchy to wrap that one up is just like, this is a combination of things. When they tell you that they like they don't post significant others and things, for me that's kind of a red flag. That's sketchy behavior. Why? That's probably means because you don't want people in your business, because you're probably hitting some other people up. Okay, if you're not getting posted, there's probably something up. That match with that specific trade match with they can't post you, but they are all up in other girls' comments and likes.
That's just
Like
my
that.
friend.
I don't give a fuck. Okay, I don't give a two rats asses what friend from kindergarten that girl is.
Yeah,
If
it's like,
you're not posting your significant other, but you're liking her thirst traps,
you're putting fire emojis on every single one of her posts. You're the first comment on every single one of your posts. And it's like, oh, but you don't do social media like that. You seem pretty active, you know?
in my opinion, it's pretty telling what you like. I'm telling you, they just don't think about it that hard. But there's some that do, okay? There's some that do. And also, sketchy behavior is when they don't like any of your photos and you're talking to them. That's also sketchy.
Yeah, they don't want to. They're not trying to be seen liking your stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That is
Because
sketchy.
they're probably talking to other girls
that
you might know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a key that you may know. That's a very key part of that.
Yeah. Oh, alrighty. Other sketchy behavior.
Okay, one I have that hasn't been relevant until recently is, I swear to God, I've met people who they talk about their first job as an internship at a financial institution. No, bro, if you've never had a customer service job or a service industry, a food industry job, I'm sketched out with you. If you have never been in the trenches, I don't know that I trust you, okay? That's just what I'm saying. I'm sorry, your first job was a paid internship in college. I don't know that I can trust you to bury a body with me or just to fucking go through it.
You haven't lived yet.
I'm being serious. There's just I don't know, I feel like it's just one of those life building things that I feel like I can relate with most people about, is our terrible service industry job.
I agree. You can learn things about yourself and others.
Yeah.
Yeah, patience.
Character building.
Yeah, that's a big one. Other things that sketch me out. I be getting sketched out all the time, but it's when people try a little too hard with my friends. Out of just experience, the people that have really tried to befriend my friends and look good to my friends usually end up not being that great of people. If you really, I think when people are calm and they're not trying to prove anything, then interactions with other people are relaxed and calm and not eager beaver. You know what I mean? And I think that is a reflection of a healthy lifestyle and relationship.
So, honestly, I guess this is on the other side of that. If I'm a friend and you've been a shit asshole to my friend and you try to be nice to me, I'll be like, I know what you did, bitch. I don't know who the fuck you're trying to befriend, but it ain't me. Wait, you want me to think you're a nice guy? I know you're a dirty, dirty dog, okay?
Or at that point, sometimes it's they're not just tricking you. They're tricking your friends too. I remember one time when this man ended up being a liar, all my friends were like, I feel just as trifled.
Hey.
We thought he was a good vibe too. And I was like, I didn't see that one coming. Neither did they. So you gotta watch out for those. All right? You gotta watch out for those. Other things that sketch you out.
I mean, my last one's probably I feel like if you would like to say that you are an ally, you better stand on business, because I feel like allyship takes action. You know what I'm saying? I think sometimes people think oh, I'm not a homophobe, therefore I'm an ally. But it's do you vote that way? Are you supporting those people? Are you educating yourself about what's going on in that community? Because if you're not, then it's just I'd rather you just not put up a front you're a hardcore ally if you're not. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I get that. You gotta stand on business. Stand up for what you believe in.
At least, the very least with voting, okay? You know what I'm saying? The very least. I keep track, okay? So I get sketched
out. If you're out here liking my little, I got to go back to Mexico after whatever years, and you're not voting and representing, living it up for the immigrants, then you ain't shit, all right? You sketch me out.
Exactly.
I remember we had a friend, and it was during the Trump era, which I mean we're still in. But it was the re-election, and the thing is she talked shit about him with us, and then came time to vote, and homegirl voted for him because she was like, well, my parents made me. Made you? You're an adult. And you know what's funny about that? Like, I didn't even do anything. I was told this information from a third party friend. She never spoke to me again. Now, did she know that what she did was probably fucked up after being like super pro immigrant, all our friendship, talking shit about this man and then voting for him? Some people really be like, they'll put the tail between their legs and they'll just walk away.
And to me, that's like some fucking like loser sketchy behavior, okay? And that's what I mean stand on business. Is that like, I mean, I'm not, obviously I don't surround myself with a lot of people who are not allies and like da 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 da. But I think it's so weird when people pretend to be about something they're not about. It's just like, don't even pretend to be about it.
Yeah, please. Then just, show who you are about the things that you truly care for. That's fine. If you're just not that deep, you're just not that deep. Anyways, what are some behaviors that sketch you out? You can let us know on our social media at things number 4, your concern, or you can let me know at Berenice at DSM.
I'm at Ella L. Tudor. It's been such a lovely week. Thank you guys so much for listening. We will see you here back next week. Bye.
Bye.